Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel, or should I say I'm gonna welcome myself back to my channel. I know it has been quite a few months since I've posted my last update, and I'm really sorry about that. The last video I posted, I was in the middle of having bronchitis and I was going to my anatomy scan. So I just kind of wanted to recap the last 3.5-ish months because he's gonna be here within 2 weeks. I'm 38 weeks and 1 day today. So I just kind of wanted to like recap, and then I really wanted to start filming videos again. I really enjoyed it. It was something that I loved doing. I really want to do a nursery tour. I want to do like the hospital bag video, and just kind of like get caught back up, and I really want to film my birth. So I'm just going to kind of recap the last 4 months. It's been slightly eventful, but not like super eventful. And I'm sorry if I have to take breaths. I'm out of breath a lot. So I've got some notes here on my phone I just kind of wanted to go through. So the main thing is, if you're wondering, I'm still sick. It's been determined that I am just going to be sick throughout my entire pregnancy. I don't get sick as often, probably only once or twice a week now, so it's definitely a lot better than it was, but I still get sick quite often. I lost total about 25 pounds, and I'm still under my pre-pregnancy weight by 5 pounds. So I've gained 20 of it back. So that's about how much weight I've gained this pregnancy. And most people are like, how did you do that? Well, it just comes with being sick all of the time, or feeling nauseous and not wanting to eat, you know, the whole gist of it. If you've had the hyperemesis or hypermesis, you know that food is just not good to you during pregnancy. So that's like the first update, is that I am still sick and I cannot wait for this part to be over. So my last video was, I told you guys that I was going to our anatomy scan, and that went fantastic. Everything went really good. He was measuring right on track, still measuring about a week ahead, and everything went perfect with the anatomy scan. There's not really much else to say. It just went really well. So around 27 weeks, I got tested again for gestational diabetes, and I'm so happy to say that I don't have that. I actually passed the 1-hour test. If you had seen in my one of my previous videos, I talked about I had to do the glucose test in my first trimester because I was overweight and I have PCOS. And I failed the 1 hour, and then I had to do the 3 hour, and it was a really terrible experience. So I was really happy when they told me that I passed the 1 hour this time. So I do not have gestational diabetes. And right after that, we went and we did a 4D ultrasound, which was really cool. We got to see our little baby in 3D/4D. I have an anterior placenta, so his face kept burrowing into it, and it was really hard to get a really clear picture of him, but I will insert some pictures here now of our precious little baby boy. It was still so cute, but we weren't unfortunately able to get a bunch of like good pictures. So around 30 weeks, I went to the doctor, and I was still on 2-week visits at this time. And I had some protein in my urine, and I also had slightly elevated blood pressure. It wasn't like super skyrocketing high to where they were worrying, but because of the high blood pressure, because I have terrible swelling, and because of the protein in my urine, they decided to test me further for preeclampsia. Luckily, I do not have that, so that's good. But that was kind of like a little bit of a scare, because I was only 30 weeks when they tested me, and I was terrified I was going to have to deliver early. And luckily, I did not end up having to do that. And following that preeclampsia scare, about a month later, when I was around 34 weeks, I had some bleeding. And I think what happened was I overworked myself. I had set up the nursery, cleaned the house, did a bunch of stuff the day before, and then the next day I started bleeding. So I called my OB's office, and they had, you know, asked what I did the day before, asked if I had been active. I said yes. They said, have you felt the baby move this morning? And the baby is very, very active pretty much all day. I always feel him when I wake up in the morning. So I sat there and I thought about it, and I was like, you know what? I don't think I've felt him yet. So then I started to worry, because that wasn't the main reason that I was calling my OB's office. I was calling because I was bleeding. And they seemed more concerned that I hadn't felt him yet, which wasn't even a concern of mine when I called. So they had me do a fetal kick count. For an hour. They wanted me to feel him 10 times, and I didn't feel him at all. And in the back of my mind, I knew nothing was wrong. I just figured he was sleeping, but I called them back, told them I didn't feel him, and I was expecting them to tell me that I needed to come in, number one, because I wanted to check on the bleeding, but number two, because he wasn't moving. And they ended up sending me to labor and delivery, and I was like, is that really necessary? You know, I really think he's just sleeping. I don't think anything's wrong. I'm just more concerned about the bleeding. And they said, if you come here, all we're going to do is a non-stress test on you. And if something ends up being wrong, we're going to send you to labor and delivery anyway. So they were like, just go there first. So I called my husband. He's the head baseball coach at his school. He ended up missing a game. He drove down, picked me up from work. We went to labor and delivery. They ran a bunch of tests. They tested me again for preeclampsia, nothing. They don't know what caused the bleeding. They pretty much just said that I had been too active the day before and to kind of not do that again, which from the beginning, I knew that that was the case, but I guess it's better to be safe than sorry. So nothing ended up coming out of that hospital visit, except for the fact that when I do go into labor, I know what to do now. It was kind of like a okay, so if you're in labor, this is where you go. This is what you do. So that was kind of nice, but as for that hospital visit, nothing was wrong, so that was good. So fast forward to today, about 4 weeks past that hospital stay, or a hospital visit. Last week at my appointment, my 37-week appointment, they did a growth scan, or like they always, I think, do it around 36, 37 weeks. They like to see the position the baby's in. They like to see how much and you know, give you an estimated weight, do all that stuff. So the baby was weighing at 6 pounds, 15 ounces, pretty much 7 pounds. So that's perfect. He was head down, but they did notice that my fluid was running on the lower side. It's not dangerously low yet by any means, and I really hope it doesn't get to that point. But they like, at least at my doctor's office, they like your fluid level to be at a 10. And when it gets down to a 5, they do an emergency C-section. So mine right now, as of last week, was like a 7.6, I think. So I'm kind of like right in the middle. And they told me that it could go back up, it could go down, it could stay the same. So they're going to monitor me the rest of my pregnancy. Today is Tuesday, and I go back on Thursday, and they're going to do another sonogram for my 38-week appointment, just to make sure that my fluid level is not decreasing. If it is, unfortunately, I'm going to have an emergency C-section that day, but I don't foresee that really becoming an issue. They also diagnosed me with pregnancy-induced carpal tunnel. As if having rheumatoid arthritis wasn't enough, I've developed, if you don't know what carpal tunnel is, just, you can look it up. But pretty much the pregnancy-induced carpal tunnel is caused by the excess fluid that's built up because I am so swollen. Luckily here in Illinois, it hasn't been too hot yet this summer, so I'm not like super swollen, but if I'm on my feet all day, my ankles literally have rolls in them. So that's cute. But I think that just comes with pregnancy. So yeah, I have pregnancy-induced carpal tunnel. And then last week, again at my 37-week appointment, they did the 3rd trimester blood tests and tested me for the group B, I think it's called group B strep. It's a bacteria that can grow in your woman parts. And if you have that bacteria, you have to be placed on antibiotics during labor so that the bacteria doesn't get in your baby's like eyes, nose, lungs, etc. So they called me yesterday on Monday and told me all my 3rd trimester screenings had come back and everything looked good. I assumed that that meant the group B test was also good. So I got another call today and I do have the group B, which isn't like a huge issue, but it's just something else in this pregnancy that I have to worry about. So when I go in for delivery, I will have to be on antibiotics, which isn't necessarily a bad thing anyways. But yeah, so that's kind of like a recap of the last 4 months. It's been a little eventful, but not like super eventful. I've had a little bit of a rougher pregnancy, I think. Just little things here and there and whatnot. But you know what? I'm very thankful that I'm going to be delivering this little boy here in a couple weeks. The one bad thing about my doctor's office though is if he is not here by my due date, they make you wait until 41 weeks and then they come back and they check you again and then they schedule your induction date. So like I could possibly go into week 42 and I don't like that. I have rheumatoid arthritis. I really would like to get back on my medication. At this point, if you've watched my channel from the beginning, you know that Matt and I went through infertility and it took us a while to get pregnant. And I've been off my RA medication for almost 3 years now due to us trying for so long, and I need to get back on it. And what's funny is I saw my rheumatologist last week, and he was a new doctor in my office because my other one retired. And he was very shocked that I wasn't seeing a high-risk OB this entire time. I guess my OB's office should have, you know, like realized that I had rheumatoid arthritis and sent me to a high-risk OB, but they didn't. And then he was very shocked that they were going to let me go in past my due date. So I've been in contact with my doctor today and we're going to discuss our options on Thursday as to whether, if he's not here, if I can be induced on my due date or not. I really, really hope I can be. Last week at my appointment, I was only 0.5 centimeter dilated and I was super soft. So it's a little bit of progress, but not much for 37 weeks. So I'm just really hoping that my doctor can see where I'm coming from with this. If not, I'm gonna, I think, get my rheumatologist involved so that I can just have this baby and get back on my medication because it's spread since I haven't been able to be on it. I know all of you are probably thinking like, you've been off it for 3 years now, what's 2 more weeks? But like, I'm having a really bad flare up right now and it's really hard being pregnant and having an RA flare up. So that's kind of the gist of everything, you guys. Again, I'm so sorry that I have been MIA. I really miss filming and I'm kind of regretting not filming this entire pregnancy because it's something that I could have looked back on. But I will show you my bump. I'm just going to forewarn you that for 38 weeks, everyone that I've talked to says I'm super small, and I'm guessing that's because I haven't gained much weight this pregnancy. So it is what it is. He's weighing in good. They're not worried about him. They're not worried about me. So this is my 38 week and 1 day bump shot. Don't mind my appearance. I have a cute shirt on and I've got comfy shorts on. But yeah, this is from the front here. And then here we are so this is little baby boy at 38 weeks and 1 day. And you got this side. So yeah, you guys, that is my bump shot. So I am filming in the nursery. So again, I would really like to do a nursery tour for you guys. If you guys are interested, let me know. And I really want to film what's in my hospital bag. And I really want to film my birth. I'm officially on baby watch. So if you guys would like any other videos that have to do with that, let me know. I just really want to get back into filming. It was fun. And especially when the baby is growing like up, I would really like to capture a lot of those moments. So yeah, again, I'm sorry that it took me so long to get an updated video up. I hope you guys are still interested and would like to follow this journey. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in my next video.